Good evening, one and all, and welcome to the fabulous campus of Case Western Reserve University for the second annual engineering game. We're happy to have you all back with us this year as we pit students, faculty, and alumni against each other for fabulous prizes, including having their class ring engraved and added to the Michelson-Morley Trophy, the ultimate prize for Engineering Week. My name's Jim Kilmer, and I'd like to welcome you to tonight's program. I will be taking you through tonight's festivities. And before we get started, I just would like to say, I know today's been kind of a rough day for a lot of people out there. So for any of you who have friends and family who have been impacted by the situation overseas today, our hearts go out to all of you, and we thank you for joining us tonight. We hope we can be an hour's worth of distraction with friends, family, and colleague as we have some good times here on campus. But we also have some other changes here tonight. We've got a live studio audience in the Tink tonight. We've got our audience who's going to be cheering you on. And if you are in the audience or if you're just playing along at home, we also have an edition of our home game this year. When you registered, you should have received a link where you can play online to join our participants in tonight's game. Yeah, let's hear it there. Oh, we've got some people showing their spirit for the faculty group. So our studio audience will be cheering on our participants this evening, as will, at last count, over 400 viewers watching from home. And I will say it's great, actually, to have a studio audience. It's good to be back on campus, start pulling out of some of this pandemic we've been in. I'll tell you, I went out to check my mail the other day, and my neighbor was out there talking to her dogs, and there was no question she thought her dogs could understand every word she was saying. I went back in the house and told my cats about it, and we just laughed and laughed and laughed. So it's good to see the end of the pandemic coming, but without further ado, it is just about time to get started with our evening festivities. So student team 1, are you ready? Student team 2, are you ready?
Yes, sir, we are.
On your marks, let's get ready to play the Engineering Feud.
Getting right into it. Oh, man.
Yes, we are coming tonight with our classic Family Feud format, slightly modified to fit the teams here for E-Week. If you're not familiar with Family Feud, we have polled 100 students for the answers to tonight's questions. Unlike the normal feud where teams buzz in and then get to steal from each other, we'll be asking questions to our teams individually. We have our 2 student teams, our 2 student families playing against each other tonight, and the winner of our student team will then move on to play the faculty and alumni in our edition of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. So to get things started tonight, we're going to begin with student team 1, and we have a question for you. Top 5 answers are on the board. We polled 100 students. What is the best Mitchell's ice cream flavor? So students, put your thinking caps on and tell us, what did 100 of your peers think was the best ice cream flavor? Anyone is welcome to call it out. Need an answer?
How about chocolate?
Chocolate! Show me chocolate! Maybe? Do we have it on the board? Oh, and there's the buzz. Slightly delayed. Case students apparently are not big fans of chocolate. So that is 1 strike on the board for student team 1. Before we move on to our next guess, I would like to introduce you to the students. We have Ria Lamba, Amala Penumaka, Jacob Bujay, and Dhananjay Surti. They're our student 1 team for tonight, and we'll be getting to know them throughout the night. Starting with Ria, it seems like you like to travel a bit, and I've heard you've been to quite a few national parks. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, I really like going to national parks. I grew up in California, so I used to go to Yosemite a lot. And then this summer, me and 2 friends did a road trip where we drove from Seattle to Cleveland, and we hit a bunch of national parks on the way.
Outstanding. So what's your count? How many parks have you been to?
I think 20.
20.
I think.
an impressive haul and impressive travels. So Rhea, put your thinking cap on along with the rest of your team and tell me, what is the best Mitchell's ice cream flavor?
I'm going to go with cookies and cream.
Show me cookies and cream. The number 2 answer with 24 points on the board. So that's 24 points to student team 1. We've got 4 more answers out there and 3 more students to get to know. Next up is Jacob Boujay. Jacob, it seems like you have a very flexible hobby. Why don't you tell us a little bit about that?
Oh yeah. So I kind of contortionist like as a hobby, but like I can do this all around my head, and I can like put my knee past my waist. It's pretty fun. It's pretty enjoyable to do. Yeah.
I might be able to touch my toes with a 50-pound weight on my back, so you've got me strongly beat in that category. Also, I would say that probably means you've got to stay in shape and might not eat too much Mitchell's ice cream. But Jacob, along with your team, tell me, what is the best Mitchell's ice cream flavor?
I whiffed once. I'll go sea salt caramel.
Sea salt caramel. The number 5 answer. Nice. And another 10 points to student team 1. 3 more answers on the board, 2 more strikes. Students, what is your fellow students' favorite ice cream flavor?
I feel like anything with peanut butter would be good.
Show me peanut butter.
Peanut butter.
Ooh. Not a very popular flavor at Case. 2 strikes, 3 answers on the board. 1 last chance for glory. Students, tell me the best ice cream flavor that 100 of your peers liked.
You guys think it's banana cream pie? Or
I think it's mango.
Mango? Mango sorbet?
Yeah.
Okay, we can go with mango sorbet then.
Mango sorbet? Ooh, unfortunately not. But you did get 34 points out of this round. Let's see what your fellow students thought was the best ice cream flavor. Answer number 4. Key lime pie. Answer number 3. Wild berry crumble. And the top answer on the board, caramel fudge brownie. So 34 points to student team 1, a solid start to tonight's game. We will move on to student team 2 next for their question. And student team 2 consists of Annika Washburn, Grant Boone, Kevin Salapante, and Anna Chow, I'm sorry. Annika, Grant, Kevin, and Anna, your question on the Family Feud tonight is, which professor would be the most fun at a party? And I should say, which case professor? So not entire campus. Engineering and sciences. Which case professor would be the most fun at a party?
We can deliberate, right?
You can absolutely deliberate, but there's a time, so...
Cobalt?
Cobalt, I like Cobalt, yeah.
Cobalt.
All right, show me Cobalt.
Nice.
Number 4 answer with 13, and I believe we will be seeing more of Corbin later on as part of the faculty team, so you can take that up with him. In the meanwhile, let's get to know some of our students. Annika Washburn. So Annika, you've come from the great state of Wisconsin, but it seems like you're not a big fan of their state product. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, I'm from Wisconsin, but I'm not a big fan of cheese. Not a big fan of cheese curds or really anything with cheese, especially eating it alone. So. Did you
come to Cleveland voluntarily, or did they drum you out of the state for that?
Came voluntarily, but the weather's not much better.
That is indeed true, but welcome to Cleveland, Annika. And tell me, which of your professors would be the best at a party?
Grant, you have any ideas? Maybe Mark?
The first one that came to mind were Buckner or Drew Meyer.
Yeah. We'll go with Buckner.
Show me Mark Buckner. Ooh.
Appropriate.
We will also be seeing Mark Buckner later on. I'm sure he will have some words for those 100 students that didn't think he was a party animal. But 1 strike and 3 more faculty to go. Students, tell me, which of these 3 faculty would be the best at a party?
I have a intuition. I feel like the professors that are going to show up here are going to be people who like more students have had. So I feel like Chris Butler might be a good guess for that reason.
All right, let's do it.
All right, show me Chris Butler. The number one answer and 53 points.
Nice.
More than half of our audience agreed with your assessment on there. So, one strike, 2 questions remain. We'll get to know another one of our students before we move on. Grant Boone, I am told that you have a slightly ignominious story to tell where you once had your high school evacuated. What happened?
Long story short, don't try to revive a dead LiPo battery by continuously running 5 amps into it.
Yeah, overpowering a battery in the middle of school, I can see how that went badly. How long did it take them to clear everyone to come back in?
Well, funny story. This was entirely accidental, but it actually happened right in the middle of a midterm. It inconveniently got the entire school evacuated in the middle of into the middle of midterms, which was very, very, very funny. But it took it about half an hour.
Well, Grant, I can tell already that you would be fun at parties, but you need to tell me which of your professors would be the best at a party.
All right, we're going with Kevin's strategy of high-yield professors. So I'm thinking Drew Meyer or Drew Meyer.
Yeah, I think Drew's a very good guess.
Drew Meyer.
All right, show me Professor Meyer. Ooh, 2 strikes, but 2 answers remain on the board. Student Team 2, one last chance to pull it back from the brink. Tell me, which student are you going to go out and party, or which professor are you going to go out and party with this weekend? Five seconds. Need an answer.
Yeah, the other one I know is Williams. You guys got any other ideas?
Yeah.
I don't have anything good.
If there's no more, Matt Williams.
All right, show me Professor Matt Williams. Oh, unfortunately not, but 2 questions correct, 66 points on the board, giving you a slight lead over your competition. Judges, tell me, the number 3 answer, what professor's good at a party? Alp, 14 students thought. And the number 2 answer? Brian Schmidt. So we now know which professors would be good to go out and party with. We have 1 round in the bucket and 1 more round to go to determine which of our student teams will be moving on to face the alumni and faculty and Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. So let's return to Student Team 1 with 34 points and give you your second question of the night. Students, tell me, where is the best place on campus to take a nap?
Oh. Okay, let's discuss, because I don't know.
Do you think it's like KSL or like Tink? Because Tink doesn't close, right?
I was thinking the big chairs at Tink.
Yeah, big chairs on Tink. Yeah.
All right, show me the big chairs at Tink.
In the Sears lab back in the day.
No.
Sad.
Apparently your favorite spot is not shared. Before we take our second guess, let's get to know about Kevin Salaponte. Kevin, I'm told that you are a legacy student. Your parents were also here. And oh, I'm sorry. I just realized I'm introducing the wrong team, so my apologies on that one. Denanjay Surti, you came to Cleveland where we have a lot of snow, and that seems like it's pretty good for you because you've got some interesting tastes. Want to tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, sure. So I come from Dubai, and it doesn't snow there. And my friends over here told me that the snow tastes pretty good. So, you know, whenever it snows once in a while, I just grab a chunk of it and try to taste it. I mean, it's pretty good, not gonna lie.
High quality Ohio snow. I personally would like to boil some maple syrup and maybe put it on there to make maple candy, but hey, fresh from nature, can't beat that. So Denanjay, tell me, where's the best place on campus to take a nap?
Do you guys think it's like, maybe no, not KSL. How about like Fribley? They have like pretty big sleeping spots there.
Yeah,
You
sure.
can try that.
He's a
Yeah.
good guess.
Sibley?
Okay, show me Fribley. Ooh, a
Oh
good
my
place
God.
for eating, but again, not a good place for napping.
They're
So-
missing out on good napping spots.
Yeah, I gotta say the audience had better be taking notes here because apparently they are not sleeping in the best spots on campus. But before we move on to one more guess, Amala, I'm told that you are accident prone in a very specific way. Want to tell us what happened?
Yeah, so I broke my the same arm 2 times. First time when I was like a year old, I fell down the stairs, broke it. And then the second time, I decided to be all grown up, and I was still on training wheels, and I decided to ride my sister's bike and let my friend use my bike, which still had the training wheels. And then I fell off of my sister's bike, which did not have training wheels, and broke the same arm again.
Well, we hope that's healed up okay. And, if there's one thing my engineering education has taught me, it's that consistency is the key to success. So, Amala, why don't you tell me where is the best place to have a nap on campus?
We could try KSL, I guess. I don't know.
I know that a lot of people say Bingham.
Bingham? You think
Yeah,
so?
people have slept in Bingham.
Class.
I also heard Yost.
Yost.
All
I
right.
don't know where you would sleep
I
in
would've said
Yost,
Bingham.
though.
I have no idea.
Okay, KSL or Bingham? Which one?
Oh, KSL.
KSL.
KSL, okay. Let's go KSL.
Let's see if snoring in the library is permitted. Show me KSL. The number 2 answer and 20 points to student team 1. You're still alive with 3 more answers on the board. You have one last chance. Tell me, where's the best place to sleep on campus?
You want to go Yost? Because
Yost?
Yeah. Let's
You
do
think Yost?
Yost.
Yost.
All right, Yost.
All right. Our last chance for the top answer. Show me Yost. Ooh, our studio audience apparently has not found the best places to sleep on campus, but maybe you will find some new places today. Show me the number 4 answer. Best place to sleep on campus? PBL. Number 3?
Yeah.
Weird.
In the think box, being lulled to sleep by the sounds of 3D printers. And the number 1 answer of where to sleep on campus? In Bingham basement.
No.
Oh, so Rhea was nearly there. She
Right,
fed it
yeah.
to you and missed it by 1. Nonetheless, you still walk away from this round with some points. It's all down to how student team number 2 performs, and we will find that out now with our final question in the Family Feud. Student team 2, tell me, if CSE students had a brand sponsor, what would that sponsor be? Top 4 answers are on the board.
I feel like the first thing that comes to mind for me is tech companies, either like the Silicon Valley, like Apple or Facebook, or maybe like Tesla or SpaceX. But maybe I'm missing the point of the question, so I don't really know.
Well, 100 students, if they had to pick a corporate entity to sponsor them, who would they want to sponsor Case?
Yes.
I like Tesla. Tesla sounds
Tesla?
good.
I like
Yeah.
Tesla, sure, let's do it.
All
Tesla.
right, out of 4 answers, show me
Valentino's Pizza.
Tesla. No. So apparently not a lot of EV drivers on campus, but we still have some chances to go. Now getting back to meeting our students. Kevin, I'm told you are a legacy student and your parents met here on campus. Tell us a little bit about it.
Yeah, so both my parents attended Case back in like the late 80s, early 90s, and the reason they met was because they were both placed together in Sherman dorm freshman year, and I believe either my mom or my dad, I forget which way it goes, but one of them was playing ping pong and met the other one through that, so that's why I exist basically.
Well, there is no better place to do it. When I started on campus in 1995, Sherman House was my dorm as well, so many awesome people came out of Sherman House, take it from me. And Kevin, tell us, if Case had a corporate sponsor, who would it be?
Yeah, I think I'll guess Apple on this one. That seems like reasonable.
All right, show me Apple. No.
I still think it's Valentino's Pizza.
So it's all about the brands. Which brand most exemplifies Case, or which brand most exemplifies the students at Case? One more chance. Tell me, if CSE had a brand, what would it be?
All right, we gotta be careful with the fun. So let's think. So you think it could be more about lifestyle? Like it could be like Red Bull or something.
Yeah, that's the other way you could go with this, like Red Bull or like DiGiorno. I think
it's either Red Bull or it could be like MATLAB. But I don't think it's MATLAB.
If it's like Dassault System for the solid.
Wait, are any of you CSE majors?
Yeah, I'm comp sci. I feel like Red Bull's pretty funny, but would enough people think about that?
I can't think of anything better than Red Bull. I also think it'd be a very funny answer, so I kind of hope it's up there.
Or no?
Oh, the other option, I could see people saying like Mitchell's ice cream.
Need an answer. Final guess.
I feel like the fact that they said CSE means it's CSE specifically, and
I think
then
that
people
just means Case School of Engineering.
Yep, Case School of Engineering students.
Red Bull? Question mark.
All right, show me Red Bull.
That's okay.
The number one answer. 36 students are going to drink it until they can't stop vibrating. So now that we have a little bit of a clue, 3 more answers on the board, 1 more chance to rack up those points. What brand should sponsor CSE students?
You guys want to try Monster Energy?
No, it already says
Monster is on the Red Bull. We got that
one
already.
That's just like energy drinks in general, I think. I don't know. Is there anything else that people really like to eat or drink here? Now that we're on the food section? Other than Mitchell's ice cream.
Is there like it could be Starbucks for caffeine?
I like Starbucks as a guess a lot, actually.
All right,
yeah.
Starbucks.
Third guess, show me Starbucks. The number 3 answer.
Sick.
Forming a caffeine habit is apparently a major hobby of Case students, which, okay, yeah, that was my problem on campus as well. So 2 more chances to rack up those points. Tell me, what other brands would sponsor CSE students?
Are we still going like the food route?
Yeah, you got an idea?
No, but I'll get back to you.
5 seconds, students need an answer.
Yeah, we can say Mitchell's if we can't come up with anything else, I guess. Because that seems kind of safe.
Yeah, or the Den, like late night.
Oh, Denny's?
Food, I don't know.
Denny's might actually be a good idea.
Okay, yeah, sure. We can try Denny's. Denny's.
Going for the grand slam. Show me Denny's. Oh. But nonetheless, a good showing with the number 1 and number 3 answers. Let's find out what brands the students think should be sponsoring them. Number 4 answer. Texas Instruments.
All right.
My old trusty TI-82 got me through a lot of classes. And the number 2 answer.
Oh. No.
Chegg. So, a dark horse candidate there, but 27 students agreed. We've been through 2 rounds, and it is nearly time for the end of the feud and our mid-game break. Student Team 1 has 54 points, but advancing to the second round, it is Student Team 2 with a commanding 121-point lead. So let's give a round of applause to Student Team 2. Team 1, Amala, Jacob, Ria, Denanjay, thank you very much for playing. You've been great. We appreciate you. Thanks for letting us all be a part of your engineering week. You've got a lot of fans there in the tank, and we look forward to finding out more about you in the future. But for now, Student Team 2 are the winners of the engineering feud that will be advancing to the next round. But before we move on to that round, it is my pleasure to introduce Dean Balakrishnan for a few remarks and the awarding of the Goody Memorial Teaching Award. Dean Balakrishnan, welcome.
Hello. Hello and good evening. I'm Raghu Balakrishnan, the Charles H. Phipps Dean of the Case School of Engineering. I hope you're enjoying the engineering game as much as I am. I'm here this evening mainly to introduce the recipient of this year's Srinivasa P. Goody Memorial Teaching Award. Now, E-Week is usually a period of unalloyed celebration, a time when we reflect and rejoice in the profession that we all feel so proud to be part of. However, this year is different. Just before the start of this week, we lost one of the most beloved members of the case engineering community, Dr. Thomas Kicker. I want to pause tonight's celebration to pay tribute to a great man who was a dear friend to many of us here. Tom Kicker came to Case as an undergraduate in 1954, stayed for his master's and PhD, and then joined the faculty. He was integral in the creation of the Case School of Engineering and ultimately became the school's very first dean. More importantly, he was deeply kind, honorable, curious, and funny, a remarkable engineer, and a leader of exceptional dedication. He changed the school and many of us in it for the better, and I'm very grateful to have known him. Please join me for a moment of silence out of respect for Dean Kicker, the Kicker family, and all of us in the Case family who are saddened by his loss. Thank you. Now, I want to thank our students who worked so hard putting this evening's events together, as well as the alumni and faculty players who agreed to share their wisdom. Special thanks to alumnus Jim Kilmer, our wonderful MC, and the cornerstone of this fun new tradition. My sincerest thanks to all of you. And now I have the honor to introduce the winner of the Srinivasa P. Goody Memorial Teaching Award. This award is presented annually by the Engineering Honor Society Tau Beta Pi and honors a faculty member who shows an exemplary commitment to undergraduate teaching. I'm delighted to say that the 2022 award goes to Mark Daguerre, Associate Professor of Material Science and Engineering. Professor Daguerre joined the faculty of the Case School of Engineering nearly 35 years ago and has taught enthusiastically at both the undergraduate and graduate level ever since. This award is particularly meaningful as it is bestowed by our engineering students who consider Professor Daguerre, in their words, a top prof. High praise indeed. For those of you who haven't had a chance to take one of Professor Daguerre's classes, this video that we're going to show next will help you understand just what makes him such an exceptional teacher. Congratulations, Professor Daguerre. We are lucky to have you.
I like both teaching and research, but they're very different, and I like them for different reasons. Research definitely has a competition side to it. You have to compete for the funds that are available, so there's that competitive element in research. Whereas education is more like cultivation. You're helping young people cultivate their own intelligence. You're building on the foundation of knowledge that they already have, and but you're trying to cultivate it. It's develop it, grow it, and so those are the aspects that I like about both of those parts of my job. I've taught everything from freshman courses through to graduate school courses, and right now I'm currently teaching 3 upper-level undergraduate classes that are required for material science and engineers. Our juniors and seniors get a heavy dose of me before they graduate. I developed a motto that goes like this: the essence of engineering is not bigger, better, faster, farther. It's doing the best you can with what you have, because that encompasses what I think is an important idea of engineering, is the constraints that every engineer faces. You want to improve society, you want to meet a need, but you don't have infinite funds. You don't have an element with an atomic number of 6.5. You only have what's in the periodic table. You have the laws of physics, the laws of thermodynamics, you have mathematics, and all those things constrain what you can and can't do. And that really influenced my teaching of particularly first-year courses like Chemistry of Materials, ENGR 145. This was not the first class where these students had learned about the periodic table or thermodynamics or math, but it was my chance to emphasize to them how really important those fundamentals were to succeed as an engineer. Case students have always been, in my 35 years here, well prepared and internally motivated, willing to work hard to add to their understanding and their knowledge. But I think in the last, I'd say 15 years, I've noticed an additional component, and that's vision outside of themselves. They don't just want to learn more and learn about a field. They want to have an impact. This award is really gratifying, in part because the students themselves conduct the whole process. And it's also an honor because I know many of the faculty who have won the award in the past, and there are some great colleagues there, and it's just a real privilege to be counted among them.
Well, congratulations once again from all of us here and from the Case Alumni Association. I would also like to say that Dean Kicker was a great man. He was also an alumnus of this university and a very active member of the Case Alumni Association and will be missed. But as we move on, speaking of alumni, we are now going to introduce two new teams to tonight's game, starting with our alumni team consisting of Frank Merritt, Kate Hart, Alex Scheppelman, and Chioma Anukwira. They will be joining us for Who Wants to Be a Millionaire? Along with them, competing against our winning student team, we also have 4 faculty members. And our faculty team tonight consists of Corbin Koval, who I understand is a great guy to go out partying with, Deborah McGivney, Catherine Del Torio, and Mark the Beast Buckner. Welcome faculty, welcome alumni. You've already seen a little bit of what the students can do. Do you think you're up to taking them this evening?
They're going down.
100%.
Well, trash talking on the part of the alumni there. So students, we'll see what kind of competition.
Trash talk.
We'll see what kind of competition you can put up in tonight's second game. Speaking of tonight's second game, it is a modified version of Who Wants to Be a Millionaire that we like to call Who Wants to Be an Engineer. We'll be doing this in 3 rounds, plus a tiebreaker if necessary. As is the classic formula, our teams will be asked a multiple choice question. They will have 4 choices to choose from and 1 chance to give me their final answer to get it correct. All of the scores have been wiped clean from the first round, and so it is a simple plus-minus grading scale. If you get the answer right, you get 1 point. If you don't get the answer right, you get nothing. And which one of our teams has the most points at the end of those 3 rounds, plus a tiebreaker if necessary, will be taking home the Michelson-Morley Trophy tonight. So teams, are you ready?
Yes, sir, we are.
Yeah. Bring it on.
It's time to find out who wants to be an engineer. So, as we move on to our first question this evening, I realize I actually don't know the order of the teams we have tonight. So, if our controllers will put up the first team, I will ask you your first question of the evening. Alumni, you are up first, so get ready for your first question. And tell me, general knowledge, how many layers does a traditional Italian lasagna have? Is it 1, 3, 4, or 5? And while you're thinking about your answer, let's get to know one of our alumni. Frank Merritt. Frank's been around Case for a while. He has degrees from this university from 1972, 75, and 78. But I understand, Frank, you were on hand for a very exciting event in Emerson Gym.
1872. Jim, I think that's 1872.
Now, faculty team, you'll get your chance. But Frank, I understand you were party to a really exciting event in Emerson Gym a while back. Tell us a little bit about it.
I'm trying to remember which event.
A
Was that
concert,
Pink
maybe?
Floyd concert?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, the Pink Floyd concert. Hard to believe that they were playing in Emerson Gym. This was before they made it big, and they were coming through on a tour through Ohio. And in fact, I have the bootleg CD of the concert.
So
not bad.
Not bad to have a band like Pink Tour come through. That was before their blimp days, so unfortunately no blimp over University Circle, but I'm sure that was incredible to be a part of nonetheless. But, so tell me, team, what do you think, alumni? 1, 3, 4, or 5 layers in a traditional Italian lasagna?
So it's clearly not 1. 1 is wrong.
Yeah. 5 seems like it would take too long to bake, right? So
traditional is either going to be a lot or a few.
Right. It must be shockingly low, like 3.
I would think 3.
Very helpful, a lot or a few type answers.
Okay.
I'm actually kind of leaning towards 3.
I'm thinking 3.
What do you think, Shoma?
I'm also thinking 3. Let's see.
Yeah.
All right, alumni, final answer.
Let's lock it in.
Is it B, 3? It is 3 layers in a traditional Italian lasagna. And 1 point to our alumni team. So off to a strong start, nailing that first question. And the team we are going to move on to next is, I believe, our faculty team. And so our faculty team, Corbin Koval, Deborah McGivney, Catherine Del Torio, and Mark the Beast Buckner. I'll give you your question, but then we'll get to know one of the faculty as they think about their answer. Faculty, tell me, what company did case engineer Frank Rudy work for when he invented the air sole? So think about that for a second. And in the meanwhile, we're going to learn a little bit more about our party animal, Corbin Koval. Corbin, I understand that you are an avid sci-fi reader and you have 3 cats with a bit of a tie into that. Tell us about them.
3 cats. Well, you know, they like to hang out when you read. And they you know, one of the things that's important about these cats is they exude what's known as cat gravity, which is a special science fiction force that only applies to the physics of cats. So,
and I think you've even actually named at least one of them after a popular sci-fi character. What are their names?
That's right. We've got Tumnus, who's named after the character in the fantasy character, but also we've got Esri Dax, who's named after a character from Deep Space Nine. So, and they're brothers and sisters, so they really get along.
A nerd after my own heart. So let's think. What company did case engineer Frank Rudy work for when he invented the air sole? I'll give you your 4 options. Is it A, Adidas, B, Puma, C, Nike, or D, Skechers?
Thinking Nike here.
Yeah, I would guess Nike.
I'm pretty sure it's Nike. It's either Nike or Adidas. We'll go with Nike, I think.
Yeah, I think Nike. Our
Okay.
final answer.
Final answer? Well, before we reveal whether or not that is the correct answer, Deborah McGivney, you used to be a marathoner, but I understand you spend most of your time chasing your 3 kids around these days. What put more miles on your sneakers, marathoning or chasing your children?
It depends on the day, and if it's a snow day or not, then, you know, definitely the kids, for sure. So
Marathoning with the children in the snow. Well, I'm sure they'll be running 13.1 and 26.2 miles soon enough, and then you'll chase after them on the road. So as we have a final answer from our faculty team of Nike, let's find out if that's the company that engineer Frank Rudy worked for when he invented the air sole. And it is. So 1 point to the faculty team. Alumni and faculty neck and neck after 1 question. And now it is time to move forward with our student team 2, who you got to know during the last round. But students, let's see if you can keep up with the faculty and alumni in this case. Your question is, how many students can Strosacker Auditorium hold? Is it 700, 580, 620, or 370?
I'm pretty sure if it's 580. You guys, what do you think?
I feel like I've seen this figure somewhere before, and I
Right?
also think it's 580.
Yeah, me too. Okay. Okay.
All right, final answer?
580.
Okay, let's find out if it is 580 students in Strosacker. And it is. All three teams have nailed their first answer. I imagine that's considerably less if you drag your sleeping bag in there for film festival, but when listening to a boring lecture, 580 students in the auditorium, well, one round down, all three answers correct, all teams neck and neck. So it is a brand new game as we move back to the alumni for their second question. And questions will get a little bit harder as we go along here. So alumni, I need you to tell me, what medical detection procedure did alumnus Paul Lattiber develop that won him the 2003 Nobel Prize? And before I get an answer from you, we'll learn some more about our alumni. Kate Hart, class of 2014. Kate, I understand you have some comic artist credentials. Tell us a little bit about those.
Yeah, when I was at Case, I wrote the comic Philosophish, and my then boyfriend, now husband, illustrated it, and we won the Toon Ed Award 2 years in a row. I have a little certificate in my house that has a hand-drawn Hagar the Horrible by the artist, because he was on the panel who selected us. So yeah, I'm an award-winning comics artist.
Excellent, multi-talented. So Kate and your teammates, what medical detection procedure did Paul Lattiber develop? Was it A, the CT scan, B, the MRI, C, the PET scan, or D, the X-ray?
What year was it again?
He won the 2003 Nobel Prize.
X-ray wouldn't have taken that long.
Yeah.
What are we thinking? It's CT?
I am thinking MRI.
MRI?
I'm thinking that. I can't remember for sure, but I bet it is.
They all seem too early for me.
I would trust MRI. That's
2003
time period to win that award.
It takes a while between the invention and the award.
Absolutely. Okay. I think that's a good guess.
Okay, final answer.
Someone say it.
Oh, what were we saying? MRI, right?
MRI.
MRI.
Okay, before we find out if that's correct, the correct answer, Alex Scheppelman, double degree holder, class of 09 and 2010. I understand that you were a competitive Dance Dance Revolution player in your younger days. Tell us a little bit about that, and how does one become a competitive player in that?
Yeah, I mean, like all Case students, right? I think being a bit nerdy helps, but certainly it was a good way to get exercise, and yeah, just going to local arcades and dancing the night away. So it was a good time. I don't know if my knees could still do it, but you know, I might give it a try. I guess we'd have to see how that goes.
Well, I imagine there was also doubling as a weightlifting session with the pockets full of quarters you had to drag to the arcade
That's right,
with you.
exactly.
So let's find out, alumni team, if Paul Lattiber invented the MRI to win the Nobel Prize. And indeed he did. So a second point to the alumni team. 2 points.
Nice.
Moving ahead in round 2, as we go over to the faculty. Faculty, we've got a question for you. Dr. T. Keith Glennon stepped down as president of Case Western Reserve University, as the Case Institute of Technology in 1958 to launch this government agency. And while you think about that, we're going to get to know Catherine Del Torio. Katie, I understand that you used to be an avid skater. Do you keep that up, or how do you get around campus these days?
So, you know, in The Wicked Witch of the West, how there's that, the evil witch is like in the tornado with her bicycle. I have a green electric bike with a big basket, and that's how I get around campus. It's really fun.
Outstanding. Is it souped up 35 miles an hour down the quad?
Well, yeah, down the big hill.
See, this is
Pretty
this is a new student team. You just take your bike to a new student team every year. They have to improve its performance by 20%. Soon you'll be zipping with traffic down the highway. But when did T. Keith Glennon step down as president of Case Institute of Technology in 1958? Did he form the EPA, NASA, the National Science Foundation, or the U.S. Forest Service?
I don't know. Any thoughts here?
I don't think it's NASA, but that's about all I could say. NSF or Forest Agency, I think.
I think.
It's about the right time for NSF.
Yeah, I'm thinking NSF would probably be best here as well. Katie? Deborah?
Yeah, let's go with that.
I would have guessed forestry, but you guys think NSF? That sounds good. I mean, forestry is weird. And it seems like the sort of like little trivia fact that like could be true. Who knows?
All right, faculty team, final answer.
We go wild with forestry or stick with NSF? What, Corbin?
It's not the Katie.
Putting it on you, Katie. You give the final answer.
Well, you guys both said NSF, so we'll go for NSF. Whichever. We can't read the names on it to tell whether that's A, B, C, or D. Yeah.
All righty, National Science Foundation. Final answer, faculty team. Okay, we will find out in just a moment if that's the correct answer. But our last faculty team member this evening is Mark the Beast Buckner. And Mark, you are not just the Beast because you have given yourself a cool nickname, but you actually are the drummer in a local jazz band. Tell us a little bit about that.
Yeah, it's a small group called the Smart Set Band. I started playing drums late in life. It's jazz, the Great American Songbook, jazz songs from the 20s, 30s, 40s, 50s. It's a lot of fun.
Well, I think I will now appeal to Kate Hart on the alumni team because we definitely need a comic of Mark Buckner like Animal from the Muppets just kicking the drums over at the end of his set. I'm pretty sure that's what happens.
I've gotten text messages from my granddaughters. You've completely crushed my image to them of not being a party animal. So,
all right. Well,
hey, we're getting a lifeline message. Can we change our answer?
No, I'm afraid you cannot. The final answer is in on the National Science Foundation. Let's find out. Was that the correct answer? Unfortunately not. T. Keith Glennon did in fact leave to become the original director of NASA.
Oh.
So the alumni have 2, the faculty have 1, and now it's time to test the knowledge of our student team with their second round question. Students, put your thinking caps on and tell me, what famous physics experiment was conducted at Case Western Reserve University? Was it the double slit experiment, the cathode ray tube experiment, the Reynolds pipe flow experiment, or the Michelson-Morley experiment?
I mean, guys.
Yeah, it's the Michelson-Morley experiment. Final answer, Michelson-Morley.
Final answer, Michelson-Morley D. Let's find out if you're correct.
Let's just give him a point here. Come on, guys.
Yeah, that is in fact the correct answer, and I will say it's the luck of the draw, but the students got the easy one, named after, I will point out, the Michelson-Morley Trophy, which is tonight's fine prize, won last year by the students. So we'll see if they can keep that going. They got a second point from the answer of the Michelson-Morley experiment. That is 2 to the alumni, 2 to the students, and 1 to the faculty. But it's not over yet, as we go back to our alumni team for their third round question. Alumni, tell me, which law states that microchips will double in power every 18 to 24 months? Is it Franck's law, Moore's law, the power law, or Newton's law?
Oh, it's
Dr. Merritt, I think
I like the one
Moore's
named
Law.
after me.
we know.
We all think it's Moore's Law, right?
Yes.
Yeah, Moore's
Great.
Law. More,
But
more is more. More
In
is
our
more.
hearts, it's Dr. Merritt's Law, though.
So, final answer?
More.
Moore's Law. And well, before we find out if that's the correct answer, we're going to get to know our last alumni team participant. Chioma, you are also a double degree holder, 2017 and 2018. And I understand that you have a very interesting involvement in the fashion industry dating back to your student days. Tell us a little bit about it.
Yes. So when I was a student in Case, I started this business called Chimu, which is an African fashion company. I actually started in ThinkBox using their sewing machine to start sewing dashikis, and it kind of grew beyond that. And ever since then, I've been on TV, Forbes 30 Under 30, and even recently New York Fashion Week, debuting one of my designs. So it's been fun. A lot of hard work because I'm not a sewing type of person. But a lot of the engineering design that I learned, I put in my fashion design. So yeah.
That is outstanding. Congratulations, and a
Thank you.
great recommendation for ThinkBox. As you can clearly tell by the gold jacket, I am very into the fashion industry myself. This is what I generally wear to work every day. But nonetheless, in the meanwhile, we're going to find out whether or not the alumni's third round answer was correct. Was it B, Moore's Law, saying that microchips double in power? And indeed it is. So kind of another ringer question there. So the students and the faculty get their third round question. It is time, or students and alumni, I'm sorry. It is time to find out if the faculty can keep that round going. Faculty, your third round question, another Case trivia. What is the oldest building on the Case Quad? Is it Adelbert, Bingham, A.W. Smith, or Tomlinson?
I think Adelbert.
Yeah, I think Adelbert. I would guess that.
Yeah, I'm going for Adelbert, and I would like to say that even my cat knows the answer to the Michael Morley question.
Yeah.
So, faculty team, is that your final answer?
Yes.
Yeah.
Quick rundown to the quad to look at the cornerstones.
The last chance.
All right, I need someone to say final answer. Give me A, B, C, or D.
Final answer, Adelbert.
A, Adelbert. Let's find out if you've got your third round answer correct. And indeed it is. Adelbert is the oldest building on the Case Quad. So that is...
I think Frank is the oldest person on the, on the Case Quad.
Just saying that because the faculty are 1 point behind the alumni at this point. But we'll see whether or not the students can keep up the trend and go 3 for 3. Students, if you are ready for your final question in our regular rounds. When did the Case Institute of Technology and Western Reserve University merge to form Case Western Reserve? Was it 1967, 1954, 1976, or 1941?
Okay, so I'm almost certain it's 1967 because that date just like sounds right to me and I've heard it before for sure. However, this is kind of a trick question and I don't know what they're really asking because like, I guess that was the initial merger, but you know, the degrees were still different for like another 30 years after that, but there's no dates in the 90s. So I'm pretty sure it's 67. Any other thoughts?
Absolutely none.
Yeah, I'm trying to think if I've seen things that are marked Case Western Reserve that have a timestamp. But if you recognize the date, then
yeah. The other thing is, so like my granddad started working here and like right around the time that they merged, and that was like right at the end of the 60s, early 70s. So it also.
All right, let's do it. 67.
I think it's 67. And if I'm wrong, well, tragic.
Final answer, students?
1967.
A, 1967. Let's find out if that was the birth of Case Western Reserve. And indeed it was. So our student team has gone 3 for 3. Our alumni team has gone 3 for 3, which unfortunately means it is time to eliminate the faculty. Corbin, Deborah, Katie, and Corbin, Deborah, Katie, and Mark, thank you for playing our game tonight of Who Wants to Be an Engineer. Given that I believe all of you are engineers, this is a very disappointing finish for you. Any comments to your former competitors?
We were robbed.
Corbin's cat knew the answer to the last question too.
There are quaternions in this quiz show, right? We were promised some math.
Well, you can fortunately salve your loss tonight by going out partying with Corbin, and Mark's band will provide the live entertainment. So faculty, thank you very much for playing tonight. It now comes down to our remaining teams, student team number 2 and the alumni team in a tiebreaker. So it is now time to put yourself on mute. Well, no, not actually. We are going to put you on mute. You are still able to talk amongst yourselves, but when I ask you the next question, we will ask you to type your answer through the chat to the judges in our control booth, and then we will keep asking tiebreaker questions until one of you gets it right and one of you gets it wrong. Does everyone understand the rules? Okay, are you ready for your first tiebreaker question? It is: 2 craters on the moon's surface are named for Case faculty members. Who are these famous faculty members? Is it former President Barbara Snyder and Gerald Seidel? Is it Eric Baer and Richard Boyatzis? Apologies. Is it Albert Michelson and Jason J. Nassau? Or is it Agnar Pitta and A.W. Smith? A, B, C, or D, please chat your answer to our judges. For our audience, there is some discussion going on amongst our teams. We have them on mute so that they cannot hear each other, but they'll be providing their answers to us in just a moment. 5 seconds, teams. I will need you to send in your final answer. And that is time. If you have not yet locked it in, please send your answer through the chat. Students, I need an answer. You might be disqualified by default if you can't send us one quickly. In the chat, please, final answer. All right, we have our answers in. So we are going to bring our teams back, and students, tell us, who do you think the 2 famous craters, the two craters on the moon, were named after? Was it A, B, C, or D? You can speak out loud again.
We think it was Pitt Smith.
I'm sorry, say again?
Pitt and Smith, or Pitt and Smith.
Oh, D, Agnar Pitta and A.W. Smith. Former President Agnar Pitta in the university was here in the 90s, I believe. So let's go over to our alumni team. Alumni, do you think it was A, B, C, or D?
C.
We think C.
The alumni think it is Albert Michelson and Jason J. Nassau. Well, it is time to find out, since we have different answers, whether either of our teams got it correct. And if they did, the ring inscribed with the year and faculty, or I'm sorry, alumni or students, will be engraved and put onto the Michelson Morley statue, which lives in the engineering department dean's office. Let's find out if we have a winner this year. Which of those answers was correct? It was C, Albert Michelson and Jason J. Nassau, which means that the alumni team is this year's winner. And showing their support, getting their support from the crowd in the Tink, alumni Frank Merritt, Kate Hart, Alex Scheppelman, Chioma Anuquerer, you are this year's winner of the 2022 engineering game. How do you feel?
This is great.
This is amazing.
Excellent.
Awesome. We're going to Cedar Point. We can't say Disneyland because that's not in Ohio.
And we have the case hats being brought out in a bit of team spirit. Students, you worked so hard at this. You nailed all 3 questions in the original round, only to give it up in the tiebreaker. But congratulations for making it this far, and thank you for playing the engineering game this year. And thanks to all of you, the hundreds of you watching our live stream at home today, the live audience in the Tink. Special thanks go to Anna Kurian, Jillian Russo, Alex Siegel, Jacob Booya, and Kelly Hendricks, and of course all of the staff at the Case Alumni Association, Davey Barris and the folks in Media Vision, Raghu Balakrishnan, and everyone who helped bring this event to you tonight. Thank you all for your participation and your help. Students and everyone in the Case Western Reserve University community, enjoy the rest of your engineering week. Thanks for joining us tonight. My name's Jim Kilmer, and I will see you next year.